Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I am here with the Veteran Noob account. This will be part 4 of Veterans Noob's Adventures in CSR, and this time we're back with the Milestone crew. I have been taken back after a substantial hiatus by the Night Riders, so I want to give them a shout out for taking me back. The Night Riders is a Milestone crew that I was with at one point in the beginning when I started this account. Uh, I left them because I was taking a break, and now I am back. With the Night Riders, they are a Milestone crew that has already cleared the 20 million mark and is now collecting this season's Milestone car. Their minimum is 500K, although everybody works hard to try to get over that. Now, as a new player with a newer account, 500K may seem like a pretty substantial amount to hit, but it is doable because you will be getting certain benefits as being part of a crew. One of the things that I did is last season, before I started looking for a milestone crew, I went and acquired last season's PC car. And that is the Audi R8. As soon as I find it here, it's here somewhere. Let's see, where did I put it? It's not in this garage right there. Okay. So the 2018 R8 V10 was last season's PC car. Now, I wasn't in a crew last season. I simply acquired the car in anticipation of joining a milestone crew this season. By having the car, it gives you access to one of the crew rewards that gives you almost 75,000 crew RP. The other thing I did is I kept saving up keys to make sure I can get this season's car, and it took me 7 pulls. I also have 10 gold keys, and while it is tempting to go for the Chiron, I can tell you from experience that that 1 pull is more likely to get me a 3-star car than it is likely to get me that particular Golden Cup car. So instead of wasting 10 keys now, I am going to save them and try to build up my gold key to a much higher amount before I actually go for a Golden Cup. The other thing I saved is bronze keys, as you can see. We'll talk about using that a little bit later to try to finish this PC Cup. Now, as a player in a milestone crew, we all know that having the Prestige Cup car is extremely important. Now, I did manage to get the car, but it comes bone stock. And knowing that I'm going to be getting the ACS2 Sport, I needed to prepare ahead a little bit so that I can get the fusions and parts I need so I could finish the Prestige Cup. As well, I took the opportunity to pick up a LB Aventador Coupe last season utilizing gold. This is a good car for live racing. It is also a possible future elite or future car for purpose of using in Tempest. Right now, I have the Aventador SVJ as my elite Lamborghini car. I used the F12 to make it through Tempest. So the LB is a definite good catch. Having the LB means that the Hurricane Coupe may not get built, but the LB Aventador may or may not end up struggling in certain events. We'll have to see when we get there, but at least I picked one up and now I am in the process of building it. Building a tier 5 car is expensive, so what happens is I had to manage my money, leaving enough for this season's PC Cup car to get built while also slowly building that car up. As you can see, I still have about 2.3 million left, but I did spend a bit of money, even though I was earning about a million a day playing. Now, the ACS2 Sport right now isn't that well built, mainly because I don't have much parts. When I started, I managed to get it up to stage 5 here, as you can see, and I did manage to also pick up at least one stage 6. Here it is. Where is it? Right there. The nitrous. Now, the nitrous is the top stage 6, so I really lucked out. This nitrous came from the Crew Cup on Friday, which is very beneficial because it really by itself drops a substantial amount of time off of the car's total final time. The downside, of course, is I have no fusions for it other than this one rare, and I think I have one uncommon, and that's it. So I am definitely short on fusions on most of these parts. Now, No matter how many stage sixes or parts you have, without fusions, the car just isn't going to be that quick. So I need to get fusions, and I need to get enough of them to get the car under 9.0, where you're going to need that time to beat the Prestige Cup. Knowing this going in, because I already last season looked up with this season's car, I did some preparation by buying some M235Is. There's only 6 here, and I'm going to strip them now to see what I can do for fusions. Because I was also buying Lamborghini Hurricanes in between for the LB Aventador, it really slowed down my process for this. But stripping these cars will put me in a much better position than where I'm at now, because it'll at least give me some fusions. The thing about being in a milestone crew is they usually have a perk that gives you the higher end fusions, such as rares and epics. And being that each car you strip only gives you 4, you're only getting about 24 fusions out of 6 cars, and you may not get as many uncommon as you would hope. Usually we don't want uncommons once we get to a certain point, but in the beginning, when your fusions are completely empty, uncommons are actually pretty important. So here, another uncommon, 2. That nitrous is going to be good. Trans I need. Turbo, rare, probably not as needed, but it's good to have. So the other thing is you could potentially get M235i stage 6s. That will go to my M235i that I do have with the star version, and I'll use that for the purpose of building that car up for Tempest as well. So it's always a double benefit with certain cars, because you already need them for one thing, and overflow parts can go somewhere else, like this body right here. That's going to be good to have. But that also means my ACS2 Sport is now going to have one less fusion overall from the strip. And that's the nature of the game. A lot of duplicates, a lot of things that doesn't give you what you want exactly. But stripping these dealership cars are critical to the way that you can build a free account. You just have to do it. I already stripped about 3 Hurricanes to build the LB to the point that I'm at. I'm stripping 6 of these guys. Total cost to me already is in the range of about 4 million I've spent. That's why you see, even though I'm earning money every day, I'm still only bouncing around 2.3. Now, why am I not spending that? Because next season, you're going to have a PC card that's a tier 4. If I don't have at least 3, 4 million ready, I won't be able to build that card. So I'm always looking ahead. That's part of this game. You're really planning ahead. You're hoarding for a reason, and you're trying to get your cars ready for the future. And being part of a milestone crew, if you can't make minimum, they're going to kick you. So everything you do as far as earning cars, building cars, and looking ahead to do what you're going to do. It's all about keeping the minimum, meeting the minimum, and also setting yourself up better and better for the future. All right, so we've stripped the 6 M235Is. I'm back to the ACS2 Sport. Be careful when you're stripping not to keep clicking. You might accidentally strip your PC car. So stop there, take a look at the results, right? We have definitely gained some fusions here, and that'll be added into the car. So now, normally I don't do this, but because for PC Cup, your goal is to be ultimately the final number, skipping certain upgrades and putting fusions in a higher upgrade right away isn't as bad, because you want to leverage the rares and the epics as much as possible. If you don't have that many uncommons and you put them only in the first stage or two, you're not going to be able to add them to the later stages to get the rare in, and you're actually hurting yourself. So in this case, I'm not going in order of upgrades. I'm skipping around to upgrade whatever I can as far as fusions. I don't necessarily do this when I build a car for live racing. In that case, I usually go in order and try to push the fusions into the lowest stages first and then move up, because the tuning and the usage is different. However, for Prestige Cup, that doesn't really matter. You want to leverage your uncommons so you can start using the rares. Now, in this case, I know I have more uncommons coming potentially, but I have a lot of rares. So in the case here, I should have actually used the uncommon in a higher stage, but it's all right. It doesn't hurt me that much. The other thing I want to point out as I'm doing this is that some cars, I'm sorry, some parts, some fusions really add a lot of Evo versus others, which adds very little. Now here, you notice it only adds 5, 8, but earlier the transmission added something like 22. That makes a big difference. Here again, I'm skipping the lower stages to leverage the rear fusion, okay? Now, once you've done that, you can see the difference in the performance of the car. With fusions added, the car now runs, well, you got to retune it first. Let me tweak this first. Now, notice the Evo points going up, and you can tune it again for even more. And here it's about 480 some. I don't think I can change the tire. It needs to be 0. Let's see where we're at. 9.482. That's pretty good. Um, that's a decent drop from where it was before, but again, it's not a huge drop, but this is actually not the, I'm looking at this 9.566, but that's actually not from this car. That's a different car I was dynoing earlier. The point is, your top speed increased quite a bit, and the time dropped a bit. And those fusions are what's doing it. You need those fusions. Now that we've gotten to that point, I'm going to start running the Prestige Cup and hopefully utilize it to get some parts. Now, that supply cup, I've already gotten the fusions from it. I just didn't finish it yet. I can do that tomorrow to get the points. But the goal right now is to finish the PC Cup if I can. Hopefully, I will get to at least race 20 something, and then I can see all these uncommon fusions and other fusions I get, whether I can get through. I'm not going to show you every race. It'll be a waste of your time to watch me race everything, but I will show you the speed traps and if I get stuck, where I get stuck, what upgrades I can do from there. Being already at 9.4, I know I can get pretty far, but I probably won't get to the stage 6 part without having to add more fusions. So here we go. Let's do one first. Now this car's got a little bit of a funky shift pattern. I'm using the skip shift, which actually on Facebook, Cam Plays indicated that skip shifting like this without full upgrades may not help you. You actually would run slower, and it seems to be true here. I'm running 9.5s, but as I upgrade more, that may become a more useful shift pattern. I'm just going to use it a few times just for practice purposes. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so I'm here now with the first speed trap, 121 miles per hour. A pretty simple speed trap to hit. No need to retune, no need to mess around. Just drive it normal and basically use the nitrous, and I should be able to get there. This car tops out at about 155 currently, so that should be no problem whatsoever. 156 mile per hour on the screen, although I only did 155.7. Engine part, it shows that little symbol on the corner there. That means it's a useful part. That's good. Okay, moving on. All right, speed trap number 2. This is 128 mile per hour. Still a no-brainer. Gonna go ahead and just kind of blow through it. So far, so good, right? With the fusions I got and one big stage 6, I'm already looking at a pretty easy first 10, 20 races. So that was race number 8. Gave me some tokens. These will be used before the end of the season where I'm going to lose them. 156 mile per hour as usual. And off we go. Speed. Oh, this is a sprint. Okay. This is the first sprint. This car should sprint okay, but it doesn't really sprint that well. I mean, it's a little bit of a tire spinner in the beginning, but it sprints okay. It's not super slow in the sprints. 2.956. Not the best out of tier 3 cars, certainly, but tolerable. Certainly not any worse than, say, the Cayman GT4, which also has a bit of a slower initial sprints as far as upgrade to sprint ratio. Speed trap, 142 mile. Now we're starting to move to a higher speed. This will be interesting. Let's see what happens here. Now, I'm definitely beating this because, again, without tweaking anything, the car's going to do 155. and off it goes. So the next speed trap is where it's going to likely become more challenging. The question is what speed that would require and whether I can beat it. All right, so let's go. Race 14 so far. This was race 13, actually. All right, another sprint. This is second sprint. Probably a little bit quicker than the last one. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, that was a pretty bad start. Well, at least I won. Didn't do any better than the first time, but thankfully it's still fast enough. And 21,000 crew points added to my total. That was race 16. On to the next. Now this is where it starts to get interesting. This is another speed trap, and this is at 156 mile per hour. Now, mind you, I've been seeing 156 mile per hour when I run this former speed traps, but the actual speed is only 155 and change. So you can show 156 on the main screen, but you really have to look at the fine print. Because if the fine print doesn't say 156, you're going to lose. And I lose. Watch. It's going to show 156 mile per hour. How did I lose? Because you only ran 155.8. Okay, now that means retuning is in order. I'm going to have to go back to the garage. All right, I got some more fusions, and I could retune the car to increase its top speed enough to beat that speed trap. So it could be as simple as bumping it down 1 or 2 points like this, and actually I had a little bit increase in the Evo point actually. So 157.7, I would beat it no problem. That's one way to get it. It's tuning, but tuning still is part dependent. Since I already have the fusions I gained from the earlier races, no reason not to throw them in and kind of increase my chances here. So let's take a look here. Transmission. I'm going to put it in here. I should have a rare to go with that. There it is. Another 24 Evo. Excellent. That's going to bump the performance up quite a little bit. Now, Evo translating to performance isn't really that clear, but 20 Evo might be a 0.02, 0.05, 0.7. I mean, it's not really that much faster time per 10 Evos, but 100 Evo will probably bump you an easy tenth. So that's where, you can sort of get a feel for where the Evo points are going to help you. Ultimately, fusions give you the evos. The stage sixes give you a flat drop, but really what they carry is a ton of extra fusion slots, and that's why filling the fusions up along with the stage sixes are so important. If you only have fusions, it's good because full fusion cars could run a whole second faster than a car that has no fusions. So never ignore fusions. It's actually very important. Now I'm down to 9.3s. That's great. Um, this should push me easily towards race 26 or 7 without headache. Now, notice this has now become a challenging race rather than a extreme race or impossibly extreme race. Okay, time to take down the 156 speed trap. This should now be a no-brainer. Should easily do 160 plus. So let's go. And boom, 160. It probably says 161 on the top, but yep, 161 on the top. More tokens, 160.795. So you would have only registered as a 160 had the speed trap been 160. Okay, moving on to the next. Oh, no, I'll skip that. Okay, getting near the end here, we're starting to have the time attacks. So this is where the last few races start to come in. I'm gonna race them to try to see what stage 6 I end up with. as the bonus stage 6. This is where luck of the draw is going to be really important. See what we got on this one. This race is not the race 28 yet. This is race 27, so it's going to give me some keys. But notice race 28 is an extreme. I don't like that. Extreme. Ugh. So 9.37 shows that I'm not able to necessarily beat the next race. It does, um, it's an improvement over what I was running before, but it's not good enough, according to the computer at least, for me to beat the next race. But we're going to take a shot at it anyway and see what happens. Now, extreme doesn't mean impossible. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So just because you see extreme doesn't mean you don't give it a shot. You still give it a shot, and then you do the best you can and hope that your car actually end up running better than what you had hoped. I'm still using that skip shift. If this doesn't work, I'll certainly switch around to the other shift path. Ooh, I got it. Yes, that was great. So even, oh, 4 thousandths of a second I beat him by. Hey, I'll take it. I don't care if I beat him by a thousandths, I'll take it. Oh, that's great. That is one of the top stage sixes as well. So now I'm running two of the top stage sixes. And if I have the fusions to kind of add into them a little bit, I'm pretty confident I'm ready to finish the PC Cup now. So let's go back to the garage, install that part, and see what happens. Yes, new stage 6. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to fit this part in right there. And I got some fusions for it. 1 point a evo. So really you're relying on the stage 6 here to drop the time, not the evo gains. Let's hope the stage 6 does a lot, which I think it will. It's one of the top ones. Yes. So it dropped it to 9.188 from a 9.3 something, and that's a big drop. So I'll take it and run with it. Still showing extreme here for race 29 and 30. No good. All right, so I know the final race needs to be around 9.0. This is where, remember in the beginning I mentioned something about bronze keys? Well, when you're stuck, this is where hoarding bronze keys starts to come into play and help you. In order to get 6 more pulls, I will need to do 2,400 keys. But let's see what these individual pulls give me first, because if I have enough showing up as usable fusions like that one, I may be able to pull just enough to get through that final bit without wasting all 6 pulls. So let's see what it looks like in a bit. Oop, got another engine. That's going to be helpful. Okay, so that's 2. I was hoping to get lucky. One of these will drop another stage 6, but because you only have really 3 chances, it's not a very likely possibility. Okay, so I am now 1,200 keys in. Now, if you don't save your bronze keys, oh, another engine. This is good. These engine ones are actually the ones I need, so that's going to help a lot. These bronze keys are really important now. If you don't save them, you don't get the opportunity to pull these crates. You can't push through those final bit with the help of the crates. The crates is what gives you missing fusions. Okay. Also, possibly additional chances at stage 6s that you weren't expecting. So very important. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. All right. And I got new intake. Let's put that in. Let's put it right here where I can also leverage a rare. Another 8 points. Not a whole lot of points, but it's something. Whoops. 8 more. Oh, I can leverage this. Another 8 points. All right. All right. So my Evo is now over 600. That's good. That's a pretty decent number. So that tells me my performance should be a lot better. 9.079. This, I'm pretty confident, will get me through if Not all the way, but definitely through the next race. And again, okay, it became hard instead of extreme. And we'll see what happens when we get to race 30. But now I have a chance of getting that 180K. So utilizing the bronze keys at the end is the way I usually push things because I don't want to waste those keys in the beginning. I don't know what I need yet. But as I get to the end of the cup, if I'm still slightly short, that's when all those bronze keys you've been hoarding becomes really helpful. Some people believe that you should always pull bronze keys when you have them. I disagree only in the sense that if there were no make specific crates for these PC cups, I would say, yeah, don't worry about it, pull your keys. But because we have these crates every season with the PC cups, you want to try to save those keys. Utilize it to help you get through the PC cup. Also, for Golden Cup, it's the same thing. You need that one stage six. 700 keys for tier 5 per crate. You need 7 crates to get one stage 6. That's quite a bit of keys, 4,900 a shot. But if you have 30,000 saved up, guess what? That may make you get through that evolution cup that you're struggling with. All right, here's the moment of truth. Is this going to make it or not? Let's see. Oh, yes. I'm polling past them, and I know I got this. I got this because the GTX tend to top out, and it doesn't keep accelerating. So if you pull past it, you're doing good. That, thanks to Mark, who probably was one of the slower opponents, 9.107 got me through. There's my 180K. Bam. All right. So I am now comfortably above minimum for this season within the crew. My crew would be happy with that. Yes, I didn't get the points until after they already capped 20 million, but at the end of the season, when your crew looks through the list, your crew leaders and their admins going to be thinking, all right, this guy dead weight or is he pulling his weight? And that's important to show that you are pulling your weight. And that extra 300,000 points I just got from the PC Cup will definitely look good. Now, money-wise, as you can see, I'm at 2.5 million at the end of this. I'm probably not going to be spending any more this season. I'll be slowly earning back. I am now down to 3,800 um, bronze keys, but I'm up to 900 silver keys. So I'm well above the necessary number needed to pull next season's PC Cup. So I'm ready to go. So this car here with a 9.0 time already, if I really want to, I could keep building it. It could make a good Tempest possibility for tier 3. So again, you have to think what you want to do and whether it's worth the resource investment. In this case, I'm not going to do anything with it yet. I have some other options. So I'm just going to leave the car alone and not waste another 800 bronze keys just for one more stage 6. It will push me into the eights probably, but if I get something cheesy like intake, it wouldn't do much. So ACS2 Sport this season, built from scratch all the way to beating PC Cup, utilizing standard strategies that I discussed in my past videos. These bronze keys, again, save them, save them, save them. Please. You need them nowadays. They're almost as important as silver keys. The only keys that I don't care that much about is the gold keys because I've always been disappointed by them. But I do save them up, and one way to guarantee gold keys don't disappoint you, save 100 of them. Okay, supply cup, I'm going to finish this tomorrow. That'll give me some more points. Good old Tempest. Notice, at part 3, I was already ready to do the challenge, but I really didn't do much with it because throughout the season, my focus isn't running these Tempest challenges. It's always been to slowly move towards what the crew needs, which is more points. So I've been busy live racing, doing everything on the map, and I only do a Tempest challenge here and there when I have extra time and I'm out of other races to do. I do 1 or 2 races on Tempest. Tempest will be there the whole time. You have plenty of time to finish it. And while the car, Amelia's car is nice to have, it's not a critical car to my garage right now. I'm going to have to finish those live races. I may even try to finish the supply cups. But again, I have a day, 3 hours. It's not a rush. The Evolution and Legendary Cup for this season, I'm skipping. Okay, simply because I'm not going to have the car. Well, what's the point? So yeah, these are tempting, but as newer players, when you're not there yet and you don't want to spend money, I say don't focus on the high-end events. Focus on what you need to do for your crew. Get the Prestige Cup, get your supply cups done, get your 700,000 points a season, whatever the minimum is for your crew. They'll like you, and you will always get a milestone card at the end of the season, and that is an extra card to your garage every season. So yes, you miss out on a few um, special events, but that's where the real money and time comes in, right? You want to get the Evolution Cup, you got to spend. Or if you don't want to spend, you're going to have to be playing for quite a long time to have enough resources saved up that you actually have a chance of getting through the Evolution Cup. Okay, enough bouncing around the map. Um, so here is part 4, basically looking at where I'm at. I'm still just a few garages in. I have some nice cars, but nothing too crazy. And I'm moving along quite well because I am now part of a strong milestone crew. I came back in prepared so I don't disappoint them. I am now, I think, I know for a fact my total crew points should be around 800,000 at this point. And I still got the Crew Cup coming up later in the season that'll give me another 100,000. So I may actually top a million with a level 78 account in this crew by the end of the season. Not too shabby if you think about it. Level 78, um, personal RP is not very high, but you don't really look at that. What you're doing is you're leveraging the crew RPs to get to where you need to be. So personal board, I have no chance of winning anything because I got a bunch of cappers in here. So I'm like number 94. Okay, yeah, I won't get the few extra keys, which would be nice, but whatever. Pick and choose your battles when you play this game because, the basic map stuff's easy, some of the stuff's hard, but you shouldn't have to burn up your resources needlessly. Okay, and that brings us to the end of part 4. So let's recap real quick. Basically, you want to be prepared coming into a season, right? So you want to make sure that you have the right cars from the season before, which generally speaking is the prior season's PC car, like the Audi here. But because it's a tier 5, it's expensive to build, you don't have to actually spend on it. You can keep a perfectly stock PC car from the prior season and still get through the Crew Cup to get those points. You also always want to get the current season's car and build it and try to get it through the PC Cup. Again, the PC Cup gives you 300,000 free points. There's no reason not to do it. All right. And that being said, please let me know your thoughts on this video. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. If you like the video, please leave a like. And if you like my videos, please subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications when I make new videos. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.